Well, every year, the World Economic Forum gathers the top 100 emerging startups aiming to build a global network of cutting-edge innovators. Since its inception 2 decades ago, this community has produced some of the world's most iconic tech giants. Google, Airbnb, Wikipedia and Spotify are just some among them. The 2024 Tech Pioneers cohort is particularly strong, with a significant presence from the world's largest entrepreneurial ecosystems: the US, China and India, with more Indian startups on the list than ever before. A record-breaking 10 Indian startups have earned their place in this coveted group, harnessing AI, data and groundbreaking technologies to drive sustainability and promote more equitable decision-making across industries and governments. Let's dive into India's tech pioneers and explore how they're shaping a better tomorrow. And we'll start with CropIn. It's tackling the critical challenges of food security and sustainable agriculture, alongside Pixel, which offers active satellite imagery and geospatial data to monitor and improve farmland health, leading the charge in reducing carbon emissions and promoting cleaner, greener lives. Our String Bio, Ampere-Hour Solar and international battery company with their innovative solutions. HealthPlix and Niramai are transforming healthcare with AI-driven platforms focused on the prognosis and prevention of serious medical conditions, including cancer. In the realm of AI, there's Sarvam AI, building foundational models and platforms tailored for Indian languages and contexts as AI reshapes the job market. Entry and NxtWave offer vernacular-based courses dedicated to upskilling unemployed youth and helping them secure meaningful employment. Hello and welcome to Young Turks, India's longest-running show on startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Shereen Bhan. With me today, Ezhil, the co-founder and CEO of String Bio; Krishna Kumar, the co-founder and CEO of CropIn; also with us, Rahul Attuluri, co-founder and CEO at NxtWave. Ezhil, gentlemen, many thanks for joining us here on this special edition of Young Turks, and big congratulations to each one of you. We wish you the very best from here on. But, Krishna, let me start by talking to you about the journey that you've been able to make at CropIn. You started the company almost a decade and a half ago in 2010 by pulling out money from your own bank account, from friends and family. That was the first $10,000 that you raised, and today you're at 50 million in funding to date. Take us through the many milestones that you've achieved at CropIn. What are you proudest of?
Thanks, Shereen. So if you see CropIn, we have taken a decade of journey, and the whole idea of CropIn was to bring more data and intelligence to this sector, right? How do we transform this sector, and how do industry, growers, enterprises, government uses this data to bring better predictability, improve the productivity of this whole sector, and sustainability, right? So these are very, very key important pillars for this sector. And CropIn is a food and agri deep tech startup, and we provide insights and critical data and alerts to all these players or ecosystem players like growers, enterprises, government and development agencies to make an informed decision. And over the period, we have built the capability to even talk about at the variety level, right? So potato may have hundreds of variety, or paddy may have hundreds of variety. They interact very differently. How do you build intelligence, running intelligence on those crops, right? So our technology addresses range of solutions today. While we started as a data management platform and aggregating those data, helping the organizations to manage those operations. Now we are solving for country scale global food security problem statement. How to manage climate change, changing climate, and see how you can reduce the impact on the crop, right? So and then also the sustainability piece. So we have made a significant stride in this. Today we have shipped this solution to 103 countries. So when we started with India focus, went very quickly to Southeast Asia, Africa. Now we are servicing US, LATAM, Europe. So built in India for the globe, and 103 countries. Recently we surpassed 1 billion acres of intelligence. We computed intelligence for our customers. So we are lighting up intelligence at the country scale on the crop and the variety. So government will take many policy decisions, or enterprises can take a sourcing decision on how do they make those supply chain more sustainable. One important thing which we are very proud of is we have built the capability to decode the past, present, and future of the food. So today, you can ask our platform that show me the grids in India, which will yield you 20 tons potato per hectare next season, in the coming season, right? And it marries it uses Gen AI, advanced crop models, climate models. So it brings all the last 40 years of data, current data, and the next 6 month or next season data as well from the climate point of view. Marry that with a crop knowledge graph, which we have built as a proprietary on every grid of 5 by 5 kilometer to 1 by 1 kilometer and 10 by 10 meter. And then, give the predictive capability that how the paddy will look like in next 6 months or next 5 years or next 30 years, right, with the changing climate.
Right.
So that we recently launched alongside with our partners, and we are very, very, so very promising technology, and I think it's a need of an hour as well.
Well, it certainly is the need of the hour, and congratulations on 1 billion acres of intelligence, as you put it, and for shipping your product across 100 countries. It clearly is a significant milestone that we are celebrating here, a made in India product for the world. But Ezhil, let me come to you, and congratulations. What's also heartening to note is that this year's Technology Pioneers includes startups not just from 23 countries, but a third are led by female chief executives. So that's particularly promising to note as well. But Ezhil, your journey from Chennai to the Valley, starting String Bio, moving from Silicon Valley back to Bangalore in 2014, the many milestones that you've been able to accomplish and what you're proudest of.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us, Shereen, today. The proudest, actually, when we look back at the journey for String so far, the company's kind of gone through 3 phases, right? What started for us was an ideation phase, building a deep tech platform at the intersection of synthetic biology, of process engineering, of fermentation from Bangalore for the world. That's kind of how we started. We've got a very, very strong deep tech platform, a lot of proprietary patents around it. And in phase 2, we started with the execution and started scaling up the manufacturing technology, right? Because fundamentally, we've got a process wherein we use greenhouse gases as the raw material to create a variety of interesting products, from peptides to proteins to additives to crop inputs. And in the execution phase, basically, we set up a first manufacturing facility in Bangalore and started to scale up the technology. And that facility was largely used to cater our products to not just the Indian market, but also to markets outside of India. So the protein from our platform has been tested, validated across 10 plus countries globally. In fact, we recently got the regulatory approval, the GRAS approval for our gas-derived protein product in the US. We're the first from India to have a GRAS approval for such an alternative protein product. Where we are today is what I would call is in the phase of value extraction, is how we think about it. Is we built a very deep tech platform to convert gas to products. And right now, basically, we're leveraging the platform to bring solution to market for different markets, starting from agriculture to food to feed, and the markets that we're looking to enter is only starting to grow more as we actually leverage the power of the biology that we have. So really, and above all of this, right, while we are very customer focused and looking to create the right products that our customer wants, the real value, if you stand back and take a look at the platform, is the benefit that we are able to bring to climate change and climate impact. Right, therein lies the real benefit for us. The big milestone for us this year is we're setting up a large-scale facility in Tumkur, which is about 50 kilometers north of Bangalore, that can cater to 10 million acres of agriculture, right? And in terms of the impact that we will be able to make, this 10 million acres translates to almost 10 million tons of carbon dioxide offset when we take these products to market. So that's quite a significant impact which we will be able to make, right? Starting from technology to actually scaling up the solution and now being able to take it all the way to market and actually create that impact, not just for our consumers, but also for the environment at large.
Absolutely, and I think, that's what we heard from Krishna as well over there. That's the kind of meaningful impact that both CropIn as well as String Bio are hoping to make. Congratulations again on your milestone of being able to get to that 10 million acres in terms of impact, as well as entering the US market with your patented product. We now move to the new kid on the block. Thanks very much for joining us here on the program. NxtWave really is a collaboration of 3 IITs, Bombay, Kharagpur and Hyderabad. And the aspiration is to create India's largest employability platform for tech careers. Take me through what got you started in this journey that only began in September of 2020. Where do you believe you find yourself today, and what's next for you?
Thanks, Shereen. Thanks for having me here. Our journey began, like you said, it began during September 2020. So in the past, me and my co-founders, Anupam and Shashank, used to work together. So as part of a cybersecurity firm. And there, one day we wanted to hire young talent for our own company. So we went around colleges trying to hire young kids. And we found the stark reality of the world where we couldn't find students who are completed graduation but not being able to write pieces of code. That was something very stark surprise for us. So that led to take a step back and try to understand the scenario, what's happening across in the colleges within the country. So, and at the same time, we were also talking to quite a lot of tech companies all across, right from Googles and Amazons of the world to small and medium scale IT tech companies as well. And we realized that there is a huge gap that exists between academia and industry. So that led us to starting NxtWave to primarily bridge the gap between industry and academia. And again, as we started with curating the content which is already present on the internet, and started with providing it to student a structured path. But as we started doing it, we realized that while in India, a lot of students go to English medium schools right from the childhood, but the biggest challenge is people do not think in English. And it's a two-step process for them to translate something in English to their mother tongue and then try to comprehend. The question we asked is like, why when people in China learn computer science in Chinese or Mandarin, and people in Germany, they learn in German, and they're all top-notch software developers. So if there is a significant chunk of population in the world who are learning computer science in their own mother tongue, why can't we also teach computer science in their native language is one thought that stuck to us. And we experimented it, and we unbundled the skills of tech and the soft skills of communication. We unbundled both of them and made it accessible for a large population to learn tech in their own native language, and breaking the language barrier that existed before. And soon after we started to see literally thousands of students who were otherwise unemployed were able to become software developers. Thereby, we were able to help students, and we were also able to help thousands of companies. In the short journey of 4 years, we were able to help more than 2,000 companies to hire thousands of students. And at the same time, we have seen a lot of inspiring stories. A lot of women who were unemployed with our tech solution being made accessible to them. So they were able to learn technology skills, and today they are employed as software developers all across in the country.
Well, congratulations on being able to bridge that massive deficit, and it is a real one that you speak of, Rahul. But Krishna, let me come back to you. Let's talk about the next steps and the road ahead. We've gone through an energy crisis, we've gone through a food crisis, we are in the midst of a severe climate crisis at this point in time. Is there a growing acknowledgement of the problem, whether it is at the enterprise level or it is at the government level? And how have you seen the attitude change? And what does that mean as far as CropIn is concerned specifically? You spoke about being available across 100 countries now. I mean, what could that number look like potentially from here on?
Yeah. So let me break this into 3 parts, right? So one is the enterprises, right? How they are seeing their supply chain. And when we are talking to them, one of the things coming very critically and in a loud voices that our losses has increased from 2% to 8% over a period of time, right? And we are talking about the revenue losses. So if you are a $500 million company, you are talking about 40 million of losses just because of the climate change and the unpredictability of this whole supply chain, right? And that need to be addressed. When we are talking to the government, they are talking about building a resilient food ecosystem, food security at for the country. And some of the work we are doing in Africa, we are also working in Sri Lanka right now, where we are looking at every farm in the country and building a trend for last 7 years because there is no data, right? So you have to run your AI models to first decode which crop has grown on those particular plots, and then how it has been trending, what has the impact of the climate change or precipitation or soil moisture, and give them whether the high yielding areas are becoming low yielding areas or the crop acreages are shrinking, right? So you first build as intelligence so that they can take a next 5-year policy decision, whether it could be how should they roll out the subsidy on the fertilizers or the seed subsidies or irrigation subsidies, right? So you are acting on the data right now and supporting the top crops in the country. So in Africa, it's the corn, where we are working very, very extensively. Nigeria, we are working on the rice. Sri Lanka, we are working on the rice. India, we have been doing on multiple crops. So there is a acknowledgement of this whole food security, and it is getting challenged because of the climate change, right? So which is putting a lot of pressure, and it's coming loud and clear. Development agencies, if you look at likes of World Bank, ADPC, Asia Disaster Preparedness Center, we are working with them, with the smallholder farmers in multiple countries, where we have to provide advisory with the changing climate to the growers based on what crop they have taken, so their livelihood can be not impacted, right? So they can secure the production, and the right advisory is going at the right time. For example, if you're doing a potato, and tomorrow we see there is a chances of frost in the morning. So what actionable you can send to the growers so that they can secure the production, right? Or a disease pests are getting built up for next 7 to 15 days, then how should you take care of those as well, right? So I think, the acknowledgement is across, right? And we are also seeing this impact. One of the number I would like to share with you, with 1 degree change in the temperature, it will bring the staple productivity by 15 to 25%. Now we want to double the production to feed 9.2 billion by 2050. But these are the headwinds, right? So one side you want to double the production, other side climate change is bringing down your productivity. Then that problem need to be solved. And I think government is quite aware, and they're also seeing how technology can be the forefront. And not only in India, but I'm talking about Africa, African nation and Southeast Asia, where we are deployed. One of the important things which we did recently, we are working with Mexico with an organization called FIRA, like an ABAD, and they are building this whole farmer stack. And we are lighting up intelligence on every farm of Mexico, and right from geospatial data to climate data from last 40 years, and every possible data risk and opportunity. And that platform is getting leveraged to lend to the growers. And also providing advisory to from the climate change point of view, or a disease point of view, or a health point of view, right? And that's the national level, rollout. So I think governments are becoming very aware, and I think they are looking for technology to be adopted at the scale. And that partnership still need to evolve between the startups and the public and private sector. And I think that's So yeah.
I would imagine that's work in progress, but as you pointed out, all of this is essentially to ensure that we are less vulnerable to the kind of shocks and that we're facing at this point in time, and that's the essential purpose of CropIn, as well as what String Bio is also hoping to do. Ezhil, I want to talk to you about building a deep tech company out of India that's servicing the world. I mean, today you hold over 55 patents globally that cover biology, fermentation, engineering. You've been able to raise about $20 million. You've got some marquee investors on board. But, for someone who's watching this and is looking at the possibility or has the aspiration of wanting to build a deep tech company out of India, what is the cheat sheet?
I wish there was one, actually, Shereen. I think it's, I think the cheat sheet actually is, technology is very interesting, right? But technology is only useful if you can really solve and bring value to the customers, to the market. And as Krishna just highlighted, today we have new problems that we haven't seen before, right? When you look at a farmer, we are telling him, hey, increase your crop productivity, increase your food production. Oh, by the way, I want you to also reduce your environmental footprint, right? And this entire challenge of having to do this falls on the farmer. And I think that's where the power, for example, with String, we've got solutions where we are able to solve exactly that, right? New age problems require those kind of interesting new age solutions, which will be able to then address both that. And ultimately, if you are able to show that value in the marketplace, therein lies the true value of the deep tech. So the way I see it is, even in the last 10 years that String has been in India, the ecosystem that is getting built for enabling deep tech companies out of India is going through a marquee change, right? So what was the environment 10 years back, and what is the environment today? There's a market change. And I think if more and more companies like String are able to show the value on the marketplace side, both in terms of the value to the customer, but also the value in terms of to the shareholders, and being able to build the business value. And I think therein we will be able to create a natural pool, more deep tech companies coming out of India, right? Because the problems that we're looking to solve today are not easy, are not small, significantly large problems. And one thing that I would say is, I think these are also not problems that will be solved by single players. These will have to be solved by interesting collaborations, partnerships, not just within the private sector, but also between private and public sectors.
Absolutely, and we're talking about population scale and being able to address that with the use of technology. But as you've heard there from Krishna and Ezhil, technology for the sake of technology is of no use or no consequence. It has to be able to address real lives and meaningful challenges. But Rahul, I want to come to you now and understand from you what the future looks like as far as you're concerned. You've, of course, got a string of enterprises that you're working with. You've been able to impact the lives of a number of people, but you're still fairly early in your journey. So what are the next few steps that you're prioritizing for NxtWave?
So again, if we were to look at India, at any point of time, we have close to 40 million students who are enrolled into higher education. And with government's efforts to improve the gross enrollment ratio, it is bound to grow to 70 million students in the next few years. And India has potential to become like the talent capital of the world. And today, all the stakeholders, including the governments, education institutions, and everyone, including students, realize that skills are more important than degrees. And that's where even government has set up National Skill Development Corporation under the leadership of Mr. Vedmani Tiwari, where NxtWave is also recognized as one of the partners in terms of driving the skill revolution within the country. And in the next 2 years, today we are at the scale of transforming thousands of students each year. But in the next 2 to 3 years down the line, we want to scale up to the level of transforming 1 million students each year, thereby transitioning the country from opportunity or potential to making it to become a technology leader, India to become the technology leader as well as become talent capital for the world. So that's where we are headed towards, Shereen.
Well, I'm going to close by asking each one of you to in a line, tell me what the vision is now for each of your companies and what the aspiration is that you're working towards. Ezhil, I'll start by asking you, for String Bio, what's the aspiration, what's the vision over the next decade?
So for us, as I mentioned, Shereen, we are in the phase of value extraction. So I would say our mantra today is execution, 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 to maximize our impact at scale. right? So as I said, our first facility coming up can cater to 10 million acres. That's 10 million tons of CO2 offset. In my mind, that's just the first step for us. We're looking to scale this up further to at least 2 other global facilities that can create even further impact. So that's the vision. And so ultimately, it is built technology, but technology that can create a real value on the ground for both our customers as well as our shareholders. So that's the vision, and that's the impact we're looking to create.
Krishna, what's the vision for the decade?
I think the vision is, I'll keep it to very small. I mean, we want to secure the food security for the planet using technology, and we will go deep into that. And I think that's what we are aiming for. And I think in next 2-3 years, the short-term vision is to decode the future of top 13 crops, which feeds around, provides 80% of the energy to the planet, right? So I think we are going very selective and very deep into those areas.
Well, Ezhil, Krishna and Rahul, we hope that you continue to go deep and wide, and we wish you the very best of luck with your future plans, and congratulations once again on the honor of being part of the World Economic Forum's Tech Pioneers cohort for 2024. It is, of course, a very coveted set of entrepreneurs that make that list, and congratulations for being part of the 10 startups that have made the list from India. Well, with that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Young Turks. From all of us here on the program for now, many thanks for watching. Do stay tuned. There's a lot more coming up. We're back in a moment with more.